let's read this text. The listener tells me this issue has divided Selbert. It's a disgrace.
Well, hello people from County Meath here. Just over there, people, is the village or town of Duleek. I have a video on that on my channel if you want to check it out. I'm going over to a little country village called Ardcath here, right? I'll have a little walk about. So stay tuned, my friends, right? And I'm going to take a little skinny Irish road here now in about less than 20 seconds, okay? So stay tuned, my friends. Well, hello people from Ardcath, right, in County Meath. As I said to you, it's a country village here, right, and I'm just going for a walk. And the reason why I come over here, people, is because it's not too far from where I live, right. Look at the dead badger. The poor little badger, huh? Yeah, I'm only about 11 or 12 miles from the east coast where I live, you know, so, and my sister lives over here, just down the road there, actually. Fantastic house. The husband built everything in the house by himself, everything. It's a dormer type bungalow, right, and it's a pity, they're very private, right, so I would have loved to have shown you the house, my friends, but it's a real country, picturesque. It would be a house you'd put up on Instagram, you know what I mean, one of them. Yeah, but anyway, listen people, look at this here. This is an old farmhouse here, right? And there's no one living in it now. Look in here, look, see this? See the old gate and the piers? But look, see the rusted roofs in it, but you can see the doorway and the old sash windows. See it there now, look. So there was obviously the front door over there where the ivy is around it. And look at the windows. I'm just wondering, and then I'd say attached to the house was sheds. Look, see the old sheds, probably had the cows in the sheds or something, right? And I'm just looking at that and I'm just thinking maybe originally that might have been attached roof in it. So that's, you're looking at an old building there. I'd say that was there even before 1916, you know, the uprising here in Ireland that led to our independence. I reckon that house was there before that. I'm going across the road here because it's dangerous here with cars coming round the corner, you know. Yeah, so it's real country here. I'm going to put my hat on, people, because it's a little bit windy. See, April, we're in the month of April here, April showers. Look at this, tulips, Ardcath, isn't that lovely? I'm going to go in here, people, and look at this church in the graveyard on top of the hill. As you can see, people, most of the farmland over here has, I don't know where that's wheat or barley, one or the other, right? So, yeah, that's a huge field over there, right? And that's either wheat or barley as well. And just around the village here, and close to Ardcath, is dairy farms, like substantial dairy farms with a couple of hundred milking cows in them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyway, let's continue up this hill, my friends. That looks like it's the local supply of gas, bottled gas, going around delivering bottled gas to houses there. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that, people. It's all the jackdaws or crows, right? And they're building nests. See the nests up there, look. Just after seeing one of them there flying over with a big twig in its beak, you know. So that's the noise you're hearing. It's all jackdaws or crows doing their thing, my friends. Yeah, look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 nests on that tree. There's 1, 2, there's 2 of them on that tree up there. I love the stone walls, look. And yeah, look, just sitting on top of one another. Gorgeous, isn't it? Look at the cherry blossom tree. And people, here's the only pub in Ardcath. It's called Bennett's. And look at anybody ever watched the British comedy Only Fools and Horses? Look, Trotter's Independent Trading Company. Guinness for strength. So there you go, people. If you drink a pint of Guinness, you'll be able to carry a big steel gator over your head with one hand. Hello. Isn't that cool? Look, a bicycle repair station, right? See, you get an awful lot of bikers going up and down along here. An awful lot of bikers. You know, because of all the hills, you know. Yeah, people, that's the Bennett's Bar and Lounge, old and original. Every tour. So they have a trad session every Thursday night at 9:30 and all are welcome. Right, people, it's closed there now at the minute. It's a pity because I was going to go in and see do tea. And here's a derelict house here, look. There's a man there, he's walking his dog, you know, and he's looking at me suspiciously with the camera. So I had to explain to him that. I says, also my sister lives here, and then he asked me, who's she married to, you know, trying to catch me out. Anyway, people, look at this. Look at this ruin of a church here, wow. The bell, look at the bell on it. You know, some people, I don't know much information about Ardcath Village, right? I was on Wikipedia there last night, and on Wikipedia is claiming that this ruined church here is the oldest ruin in the whole of County Meath, right? He said that this church would have been attacked during the time that the Battle of the Boyne was taking place. So if you had been up here at the time of the Battle of the Boyne, you probably would have been able to hear the cannons exploding in the battle from up here, you know. And Ardcath is at an elevation of 220 feet or something. Wow, look at this. Wow. Here's, I think I said it in one of my videos before, why did they start putting graves and headstones inside old churches? If anybody knows the reason, let me know, right? Look at this story, isn't it lovely? Look at the stones crossing over here. Look at this. Can you see that? Look, like that's cut and shaped. I'd stop there, look, it's a join there. Like, but even still, look, that's all cut out of one stone. Do you know what I mean? And, like, not only was it cut out of one stone, right? But look, they even have the bevel on it. See the bevel? Now, I don't know if that's wear or tear, right? Or if that's kind of chisel marks, you know what I mean? I don't know. But it's cool, isn't it? Now look at this. There's a headstone over there. A man, Patrick Ennis, she's gone back to 1886. Wow. Look, 1774. Wow. It's kind of like a sundial, isn't it? Like, well, a sun, IHS, but it's a sun on it there. And if you look at the people, like, you know, it was a pretty substantial church, wasn't it? It's like, that's like, that archway there to me looks like it's halfway in the church, you know? So, from here to the other end there. So that's facing west and that's facing east. Yeah, pretty substantial church. I think it was a Protestant church, this. Wasn't a Catholic church, Protestant. If that means anything to anybody, because it means nothing to me, my friends. There's loads of benches here in the graveyard, people, if you want to sit down and just chill in the graveyard. If you're into that, my friends, there's loads of seats. Look at the lovely wall, stone wall. Yeah. So look here, people, now, look. You see the pasture here, the green fields. So, like, as I said, and I don't know if you can see it in the GoPro, but just over where I'm pointing there, there's a whole field of Frisian cows. The main cows used here in Ireland for milking is Frisian because they give the most yield of milk. The black and white cows, really, called Frisian. So all around here, that's a big, as you can see more Frisian cows in the distance, way down there. So The farms around Ardcath here are mainly dairy farms. And as I said, you see in the cornfields there too, they grow like, it's either wheat or barley, I forget now. But that's what the farmers up here in Ardcath are growing. Because Meath people, farmland is some of the best farmland in the whole of Ireland. You know, you got big farmers here in County Meath, you know, because the land is so good. Anyway, people, let's wander on more through the village. This is lovely here, actually. This is the first time I was ever in this graveyard. There's a lovely two-storey building there. Look, it's an old building, and it looks like it's two-storey, and it's turned into someone's home, and it looks lovely looking. And people, I think that building over there one time was a school, although it says a hall. And it's saying, let me see what year it's saying here. Ardcath Hall, 1767. So it's saying 1767. I don't know what, I see people in it there, young people in it there now. So I don't know if it's a home for people there now, or I don't know if they're whatever they're doing, you know what I mean? Is there a summer camp or something, you know what I mean? Anyway, look at this lovely stone. Isn't it gorgeous? This is the way farmers hang their gates here in Ireland, my friends. Look. First of all, it's hung upside down, look, because the latch was supposed to be there. So, instead of hanging the gate up properly, they have it tied with, look, a bit of wire. Normally they have sheep there, you know. Now I'm just guessing that there was an old pump here on the side of the road, one of them hand pumps, right? And look at for putting your posts, look, 2 p.m. I wonder if that's still in operation. Probably not. And in here, people, yeah, in here is the National School. They're all on holidays now. That's why I'm filming here, because I didn't want to walk down through the village during school time, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're on their Easter holidays now, 2 week break from school. So this, as I said, is the National School, right? Or the primary school, yeah, National School. So this is all for students under the age of 12. And people, that building there is the original school. I don't want to go in and nosy, but I think on the wall it's saying 1950 there. Look, the houses. So as you can see, you're kind of up on a hill here. I think it's 220 feet elevation above sea level up here in Ardcath. Like realistically, like it's a small village in the middle of farmland. That's what it is, like, you know what I mean? Irish weather, my friends, is strange. This is April, the month of April. Now, April is known as the month April showers, right? And we do get a lot of showers. Actually, there's some threatening there now, right? It's 10 degrees, and maybe it's when these clouds are going over it's like, look at me, I'm wearing the jacket and the hat. It's 10 degrees and it's a bit cold, right? Last week, people, I was walking around with no coat, no hat. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And look, here's another dairy farm, right? So there's one solitary cow over there. Now that cow could be a cow that's about to, I'm only guessing now, she could be due a calf maybe. Or there could be something wrong with her and she's just put into the field here on her own, right? But look at the views you have. Look, see all the hills. That direction, people, I'm looking north, right? North. Now, people, it's a pity that if I was up here now walking through the village here about, say, 4 o'clock maybe, or 3:30, they'd be bringing the cows in from the fields on this side of the road, up the roadway here and into the farm. That would be lovely to see, wouldn't it? I had to stop there many a time in my car. And this, people, is the Catholic church here on the hill in Ardcath, right? Let's go in and have a look at this. Take my hat off, of course, even though I'm not into the whole thing. But anyway, let's have a look inside here, my friends. Right, people, as you can see up on the arch there, that's the first time. Now, I've heard this before, but I've never seen it written inside in a church. It just says, "Behold the tabernacle of God with man." Right, people, that's the first time that I've ever been in that church, and it's very plain and simple, isn't it? But it's absolutely beautiful. It really is like a beautiful church. I wonder what's the significance of the bell here. I don't see any writing around it or anything, look. Right, people, it's time to put my hat back on, it's cold. Look at this, people, I've just seen on the wall here. On the capping, on the stone capping, look. Collection permit point, look. So they must have had to get a permit for Sunday collection for the churches, you know. Mad. Here's more individual. Look, there's another farm here. That's what I'm saying. Like, so you have the church, right? Now, isn't that lovely just there? Now, look, the stone wall, them lovely trees, and the church. That is lovely now, right? And then, right, look, you got the farmyard right beside it. And then you got the houses. Isn't it gas, isn't it? Another farm that side. I'm just looking, people, don't know if you can hear, right, but the planes are coming across Ardcath here, right, because heading into Dublin Airport because there's an east wind. So in other words, they've been sent inland. Depends on the traffic, you know what I mean, how many planes is coming in, so they force them further out so that you have them, like, you know what I mean, in a proper line-up when they're coming in to land at the airport. So yeah, I can see it there now. It's a 737. I don't know if it's Ryanair or who it is, but now he's banking to the left to line up with the localiser of the runway at Dublin Airport. Look at these lovely houses. Look at the cherry blossoms, and they're gorgeous. Lovely old gates, certainly gorgeous. Look at this, look at the capping on this one, isn't it gorgeous? Look at it, lovely. And there's Churchview, a little housing estate in Ardcath, surrounded by farmland and milking cows, and cow shit. Oh, this is great, my friends, this is great. People, I shouldn't be doing this, but look, here's people, they got an extension built onto the house, right? And look at the stonework, right? Now, that's not built that long, right? But I have to say, that's the best stone masonry work that I've seen around the area in a long, long time. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a pity, see, the hedge is grown up there. And before the hedge was grown up, you could get a real good look at it. And it was just, I was fascinated by it. Look at this lovely house here too. Look, isn't it gorgeous? A dormer type stone brick house. And you see the brick now. You see the way the bricks around the stone there, right? Now, I have nieces and nephews, right, that built houses. And the Meath County Council, the planners, they wouldn't allow them to put brick around the windows. That was all. Like, you know what I mean? You can build a house with stone, but you can't use brick. Crazy. Now there's another old house there that's kind of done up. Look, that one there, the extension built onto it. And this used to be a shop. Look at the petrol pumps, people. Look, there used to be a shop here, right? But obviously, it wasn't doing well, so you had to close it down. So there's no shop in the town here, or in the village of Ardcath. You have to either go up the road that way to Garrettstown, a couple of miles up there, or back in the opposite direction to the village or town of Duleek, right? So I'm going down this little small skinny road, people, because there's a sheep farm down here, and hopefully the sheep and the little lambs will be in the fields, you know what I mean? Just to show you some lambs, because more noisy crows. And look, look at this one. Here's a tree here, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at the dirty, look. Can you see that? Crow shit, my friends, on my lovely cool jacket. Anyway, it's supposed to be good luck, isn't it? Dickhead crows! You're dickheads! This is what you get, people, for walking in nature. You get shit on. And here's another smaller tree here. Look, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nests on it. Amazing, isn't it? Planes flying over there, people, heading into Dublin Airport. They'll be doing a U-turn now, 180, back to the airport. because it's an east wind. Actually, it's a northeast wind today, which is really cold. And here's people, the local GAA ground, look. It's called St. Vincent's Gaelic Football Ground, Ardcath and Clonalvy. So Clonalvy is another little village in this direction over here. You know what I mean? So look, that's all to do with Gaelic football, people. That's the biggest sport here in Ireland, Gaelic football. Gaelic football would be a top, followed by hurley and then soccer, right? But I just never had any interest in Gaelic football, never. You know, sport in general, I don't really have a big... You wouldn't see me sitting down now watching something in sport, really. Very rare. And if I'm in a book shop and I bypass the sports section, no interest in it whatsoever. Yeah. Little bit of useless information for you there, my friends. Look at them. Are they bluebells, are they? Aren't they lovely? Look. Just along the bank on the side of a country road. More lovely stonework there. Look, isn't that gorgeous? And the bank and the hedge. The box hedge. I've that hedge at home, right? That hedge, people, is a real hardy hedge. Like that would survive like hard frosts and snow and everything. It really would, like, you know. Here's a nice house here too. Nice little plants outside. Oh, very snazzy gate. And stone house or stone wall. Haha, people, look at all the sheep here. This is why I came down this road, because this is a sheep farmer here. And yeah, look at this, people. Isn't this just lovely? See them? Hello, little lambs. Ah, come on. Hello, Mrs. Sheep. Bah. Bah. Oh, you're all looking very, very well today, my friends. You're all looking very, very well. Chilling out in a lovely pastured field in County Meath in Ireland. Yeah. I wonder, does those sheep and lamb know they're Meath? Oh, we're Meath. We're from County Meath. Yeah. We're Meath. You know the bullshit about the counties and the borders and all that crack. It's only gobshites like us that invented all that crap, my friends. Hello, sheep. Ah, hello, little lambs. Hello, mammy sheep and little baby sheep, little lamb. Hello. Now, it's not just lovely, isn't it? It really is. Oh, this is great. Load more sheep down the end of that field there. Oh, this is absolutely lovely. And fair play to the farmer. Look, he's planted trees. See that? New trees, look, all along here. They're really healthy, look. Gorgeous. Hello. Hello, little lambs. Are you well today? Oh, don't move away. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm only just saying hello, passing by my lovely little country walk here in Ardcath land. No, don't run away. Don't run away. Don't run away. I'm just having a chat with you. That's all I'm doing. Yeah. Ma to you too. Yes. Ma to you too, my friends. Right, I'm going on. Have a nice day. I'll see you again. Yeah. Oh, bah. Bah. Isn't that right? Oh, it's so lovely, isn't it? It really is. some people, there's an awful lot of looking after in sheep. There is keeping them healthy, you know what I mean? So look, there's the big sheds they use for the sheep for the winter time. In there, look. And people just going to pass by. A beautiful farmhouse here, 2-storey farmhouse. And I mean, look at even the stone wall here. It's just beautiful. Look at this. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Look at. I mean, that's a work of art in itself, isn't it? Now look at the 2-storey farmhouse and the lovely look. The little shed. Look at the piers. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the lovely kind of round stone pier at the field here. At least this man, this farmer, he actually hangs his gates properly, look. You see that? And I probably can't see it there. There's 2 rabbits down there in the field. And look at the fields. It's nearly like a lawn, you know what I mean? Because sheep are brilliant. Sheep kind of, you know, put sheep into a field and you'll end up with a field like this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look at that stonework, isn't it fantastic? Look. That is beautiful, my friends. It really is. Hi people, how's it going from Ardcath land in County Meath in Ireland? Woohoo! You know, some people, this is bringing back great memories because my sister there and her husband, right, they have 2 girls, right? And when they were babies, 2 girls were babies, I used to come over to my sister here and we'd go on a walk. It's on this road here, right? And I'd push the buggy, you know, sometimes, you know what I mean? And when they were babies, you know, 2 girls were babies. And one of them, the eldest girl now, she's heading for 23. And the youngest girl, she was 21 there this year. I can't believe it, right? And the eldest girl is, I think she's studying law in Maynooth. And the younger girl, I'm not going to say their names, right? But I think she's in another university in Dublin. Kind of tech, all tech kind of stuff, right? And the time just, you know, I think about this now, walking this road here now, it just feels like it was yesterday. It's an amazing the way time stands for no man or no woman. It really doesn't. Another field over there, people full of loads of sheep. And look at that lovely yellow furze bush. Other people call that gorse. Right, I call it furze bush, yellow furze bush. But it's gorgeous, isn't it? Another farmyard in here. Look at this old building. That would have been an old building there. That definitely wasn't a house, I don't think. Look, would have been just a shed, but it's definitely old, you know. I hope the gates are closed here. There's a dog here barking as I'm passing by, look. I hope the goddamn gate is closed, my friends. I hope it's closed. Hello. Hello, doggy. Are you well? I hope you're well today. Yeah, dickhead. There's a load of young calves over here. in this fit little field here, paddock here. Do you see this house here, people? Right. I don't know if it's the same people that are living in it, but remember I was telling you about walking here with my sister when my two nieces were only babies. And there was a mad dog, you see a mad dog there. And my sister was terrified of the dog. And I don't know where I got the branch of the tree. There's a big branch of a tree, right? And he's coming out like being threatening, right, on the road. And I got the big branch of the tree and I run towards him and I go, come on, you dickhead, come on, you dickhead, right? And I turned around then, and my sister, she said not to laughing. So from being terrified to me with a big branch of a tree, going, come on, you dickhead. Yeah, so I kind of diffused the situation, if you know what I mean. Anyway, look at this. Look at the size of that house in there. Wow. That looks like a brand new house to me. Look. Oh, it's not gorgeous. Look at that. Yeah, look at the size of that house. Wow. We're definitely farming people, I reckon. Huge house, isn't it? There's those cows in there again, young little cows. Hello. How are you all doing? Are you doing well, yeah? I see you're sitting down just enjoying yourselves there today. You have the right idea. Chill out, chillax. Yes. See all the manure, people, look, all dumped in the field there, look. So the farmers obviously, you know, were cleaning out their sheds, dumped all the manure in the field, right? And then of course, eventually what they do is, they'll come in there with a tractor and a muck spreader, right? And a loader. They load it into the muck spreader and then they'll go around the field and spread all that manure into the pasture. Which of course, it's like cow shit, you know what I mean? Very good for the land, my friends. There's more dairy cows down there. Yeah. And way in the distance there, people, is a huge dairy farm. Actually, this is probably part of that dairy farm. I'm talking a couple of hundred milking cows now. They modernised the farm, it's like state of the art over there. They've got a huge area all for dairy farming. People see that house there, right? Now I don't know if it's the same people that are living in it. But do you remember before the financial crash of 2008? Whoever the man was who lived there, he had a Jet Ranger helicopter. He used to have it parked in his front garden. And I often thought of dropping in and asking him how much would he charge, would he bring me on a spin on the helicopter. But I never did. But anyway, I've been on loads of helicopters, my friends. I flew under and over the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco in a helicopter. Went down into the bottom of the Grand Canyon in a helicopter. Niagara Falls in a helicopter. New York in a helicopter. A few other places I just can't think of. A few places here in Ireland I went on helicopters. Yeah, so anyway, that's enough helicopter talk, people. Look at all these lovely cows, aren't they gorgeous? Look. Frisian cows, milking cows, doing their own thing. Isn't it just lovely? Look at that landscape, people, look. Isn't it gorgeous? There's a load more dairy cows. Yeah, that's a huge, huge dairy farm. Huge. There's hundreds of acres there, my friends, hundreds. Look at this wild plant that's grown here in the ditch. Look. What the hell is that? Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful walk. Right people, let's try another one of these. This has got all the little fluffy things on it, right? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I got as far as 8 o'clock, my friends. Woo! I don't know if you can see in the GoPro, my friends, but I can see that the farmer there, right? He's on a quad bike and he's bringing all the cows in now for milking, right? There's hundreds of cows there on that farm. Hundreds of cows. Big farm way over here. All that land is all that one farm. Amazing, isn't it? All milk for your tea and milk products probably coming from that farm there and all the other dairy farms all over the country, my friends. Amazing stuff. Another beautiful house here, my friends, look. Isn't that beautiful? And a fantastic view of the countryside and the hills and the cow fields. Magical. Right people, I'm back where I started here. Can you remember me showing you this, where the old pump was, right? And the letterbox. Yeah. So basically people, that's Ardcath, a lovely little country village, isn't it? It's only about 12 miles from where I live, you know. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed it, my friends, hope you enjoyed it. Yeah people, I'm just reading here on Wikipedia, right? And it's saying about Ardcath, right, and how it got its name. It says, Ardcath means height of the battle in Irish and refers to a battle recorded in the Book of Howth, fought in Bardic history between the kings of Ireland and Finn MacCool and the Fianna. The kings gathered on the hill of Garristown and the Fianna on the hill of Ardcath. So there you go, my friends. That's myth and legends mixed all into one there, right? Okay, so I don't know the population of Ardcath. I looked up that as well, and it's not coming up on the census thing, but as you can see, would it be 100, 200 people maybe? Maybe more, I don't know, maybe less. But it's just a lovely little village, country village, people. So I hope you enjoyed it. So stay tuned, my friends, because I'm going next to a place, to another passage tomb, not far from here. 5,000 years old, my friends, older than the pyramids of Egypt. Equally as important as the famous Newgrange that I showed you in the previous video, right? So stay tuned, my friends, for the Four Knocks Passage Tomb. Take care, my friends.